No, they gave you a standing ovation.
I know. Oh my God. How do I top that?
Yeah.
I'm a really good walker, apparently.
No, you were great. So third Netflix special.
Yes.
How did you visually approach this one?
You know, well, you know, you never know what you're going to do. I started writing, and then the country happened. And then you realize that you have to say something because the country is happening.
Sure, yeah. I mean, I watched it. Super funny. It's great.
Thank you.
I noticed I guess, I take it for granted that someone doing comedy for 10, 20 years always going to be great at comedy.
Yeah.
So I always look for how they film it to make it a little different, to make it a special. And so I noticed you actually start in this quite an old school Chris Rock way, where you're in the green room and then you walk out.
The one shot. The one shot from the beginning.
Yeah. So
the one shot.
Yeah. And so what was your, what were you thinking? Were you trying to pay homage to, or you just like?
Yes, I wanted to do it like the stand-up specials that I grew up watching.
Yes.
And, it used to be the specials were special.
Yes.
It used to be this moment that you're like, this is the night. And I wanted to throw it back. And I'm a sneakers person. I wore heels on that show.
Oh, yeah.
And that hurt.
Yeah.
I did that. I did that. No, but I wanted to do a polish, and I was actually, I was talking to Tom Papa.
Yes.
And I was telling him I wanted to go for like a Rita Rudner look.
Yes.
And he's like, well, you're Latina. I'm like, a Margarita Rudner.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's the weird thing about comics is that we kind of value history more than most people. All we read about is comedy history.
Yes.
And trying to pay homage to that or live up to that. Or, may we be so lucky to get praise from our peers who are of that generation, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Yeah. And one of the things, for me, when Letterman was retiring, I got to do his show, like, in the last month. And that, to me, when you're a comic, the comedy nerd in you wants that moment.
Yeah.
Because you remember that. Like, when I was a kid, Carson was the one you wanted, and he retired when I was a teenager, and that hurt so much.
Right.
I didn't even know I wanted to do stand-up, but I wanted to be on Carson.
Right.
Because that was a meter of what American was,
Yeah, so same. So I feel like a lot of, another way of putting it is, like, I kind of came to this country because of the American comedy institutions.
Yes.
And these comedy institutions are they're not what they once were, but I kind of don't care.
Me too.
I'm like, no, I wanted to, I don't care that network TV is dying. I love being on The Tonight Show.
No, absolutely.
Like,
no, it's
because
true.
it's for me. It's not even for anyone, It's for me.
But honestly, like, when you think about it, even as a Latina...
Sorry, that was an unfair diss to The Tonight Show. I didn't mean that.
They know what they did.
You guys
know what they did. I love the comedy institutions, but what happens, too, is that as a Latina, as a part of a group that
Wait, you're not Filipino? Oh,
I am during API month.
Okay.
But it's one of those things where, like, you realize that a lot of the comedy institutions didn't have people that look like you in them.
Sure.
So you actually, you get sad that they're no longer around, but you actually like the evolution that it becomes.
No, totally.
What it becomes into.
No, totally. Look at me right here. What the
it's amazing.
Right yeah, I know.
It is amazing.
I know. No, I'm not.
No, it is. It's great.
No, but that's my point. It's like, so when I do the specials, for me, and tell me if that's what you're trying to do, is like, because I never saw Asians do comedy specials, I try to put myself in that. So when I film a special, I pay homage to these specials because I'm like, oh, well, I never saw someone come out,
Absolutely.
Yeah, and
Look, my mom was, like, undocumented when she got here. I'm a first-generation Mexican-American. I grew up in South Texas in a border town that had immigration raids during the 1980s. The immigration raids have existed for decades. So now, it's like, I do it, and I love to be personal because I think that being specific in your story actually makes it universal to so many people. When they see the specifics and how you grew up, you realize that while you might not be Latino, while you might not be a woman, you actually relate to the way that I grew up. And that's the thing that we need to talk more of, is that, like, right now, the country is so divisive, but really, the more different we are, the more alike we are. So when I'm on stage, I don't care if people don't like me. What I care about is honoring the memory that my mom had left me and why she came to this country, for me to have opportunities. I mean, right now, coming on stage, I was thinking, you're hosting The Daily Show tonight. I am the daughter of immigrants, and for the next couple minutes, there's immigrant families. They're the stars of the Comedy Central channel right now.
I mean, that's a nice sentiment, but the data shows that not a demographic. So it's mostly.
I know.
It's mostly coastal elites and white people. But anyway, that's a nice.
But I just want white people to feel like they're allies right now. So thank you for clapping.
That's good. Yeah. That is cool. I mean, and you mentioned your mom in this special.
Yes.
And you talked about her. You want to talk a little bit about?
Yeah. To me. One of the things that I think that I talked about in the special thematically was that what I learned from her was that she worked really hard. And that's part of the American dream that we get taught. We get taught that we have to work hard, and then after you work hard, you live life hard. And what I realized, then you get to enjoy life. After you you work enough, but no one tells you how much work is enough. So then, with my mom, she always wanted to go see a movie at a movie theater. She never did. She always told herself, no, I have to work first and then go see a movie. And then she ended up passing away before she went to see a movie. And in that moment, I was my mom's caregiver when she passed. And I was like, she denied herself the most basic thing because she didn't think she deserved it. Because that's what this country does. This country makes it seem like you need to work hard. Screw them, the corporations. They don't want to pay you a fair living wage. They want you to kill yourself because you need to work hard for them. So when do you get to enjoy life? You have to enjoy life now. That's one thing I learned from my mom's passing. Especially nowadays, the biggest form of resistance that I believe in is joy. The people that hate you want to see you miserable, and you cannot let them do that. You need to show joy. If they hate you, you smile at them, and you're like, I am so happy.
Yeah.
And you do it like that, so violently.
Yeah. No, I love that. And I mean, you said you grew up in Texas.
I did.
And you grew up I don't know if we could, you were squatting in diners.
Yeah, for 7 years of my life, my family squatted in an abandoned diner. Yeah. My mom was a cook at a Mexican restaurant, worked double shifts, got paid $150 a week for double shifts because she was undocumented. That's what they do in this country with so many people. They exploit them for the labor, right? And then that's the thing that we find ourselves now, right? In the last election, immigrants are the problem, immigrants are the problem. Now you see Farmageddon where they don't find anybody working the farms, but it's but you own the libs, right? Sure. You own the libs. How does it feel to own the libs knowing that now corporations are going to come and own your farm?
Yeah, well, all right, yeah. I guess so. I was actually going to take it somewhere positive, but I'm glad you went there. No, it's a valid point. I guess I was going to ask you because you grew up in Texas.
Yes.
And I guess, I guess us outside of Texas, we kind of have this stereotype of a majority of Texans and all that. What are we getting wrong about the Texans? What are we missing here? What is it?
It's the fact that anyone, aside from Texas, but I can speak about Texans, everybody wants the best, right? They want the opportunity, but the way that they were raised, especially in my neighborhood, we were raised very conservative, leaning towards, because of our religion, and what people don't understand is that we want the best. The way that we try to carry out the best is a lot of times we go into, it's blue-collar families that I think, one of the biggest problems we find is that, especially in politics, we talk about the middle class a lot. And we use it as a blanket statement, that middle class is just everyone, but it's not, because we actually don't talk about the lower class people, the people like me that grew up in abject poverty, because the people in that kind of poverty, we vote too. And what we find is that we actually don't see ourselves as important. We actually see ourselves as invisible because people try to cater to the next economic status. So what they do is that people feel disillusioned They feel defeated, you know? And I think that it's important to have more people talk to them specifically to let them know that they're part of this country rather than just middle and upper class, which is what they love to do.
Sure. Sure. But, and part of that is people in that class that you just described, they kind of have to come out and vote.
Yes.
To show their power. They have to come and vote. They can't. It's so easy to be apathetic, but if you gotta come out and exert that.
And you know, I work with voter outreach in every election. I've been working with it for years. I just want people to vote. I don't even care how you vote. It's just if we're living in a sheer democracy,
vote
let the
MAGA.
Majority. It's not my fault I look good in red. But you know, it is. It's important to go make your voice heard. And there's so many people that say, well, my vote doesn't matter. Yes, it does.
Sure.
Every vote matters. And we have to teach people that they do.
And I mean, you know, we're kind of preaching to the liberal elite choir here who just cheer any f***ing cliche we can say, you know, like, but like the Latino voting bloc is the largest growing MAGA voting bloc in the country. I mean, how do you kind of square those ideas of like these people who are immigrants themselves, or their parents were immigrants, or their grandparents were immigrants, and they know what it was like, and they know.
Well, you know what happened, especially where I'm from in South Texas, they MAGA and a lot of Republicans decided to go through the church. So they actually infiltrated churches, and that's how they got a lot of people to change their perspective, because they thought, well, we can get them at church.
And it worked.
It did work. Yeah. It did work, because, you know, what is scarier than going against the teachings of God?
Sure.
You know, but anyway, we'll teach you what those teachings of God are in our language.
Sure.
You know, so for me, it's one of those things where people felt spoken to, people feel represented, and I think that, you know, I've always said that, you know, I'm on the left, but, you know, it's like, I love this country.
Sure.
I love this country. I'm a Catholic. I love God. Okay. I love family. I love everything that the...
No, there's no cheers for that. Yeah. No, it's okay. She won't welcome a bit with that
But
one.
I also like weed. I like weed.
Okay, you like weed.
But, you know, it's like... But it is, I think
the true God.
I know.
So what's the answer? The answer is what, Buddhism?
No, the answer is to actually give more of a chance to people like me to come on, you know, to have these spaces where they can say, you know how you love religion, you know how you love your family, you know how you love this country, I do too. So how do we work together? And, you know, it's that thing where it's like they sometimes need to hear that you love it in order for them to believe it. And so many of us assume that people believe that we love it. That they assume, well, you know we love this country. No, they want you to say it. They want you to say it with some sparklers, wearing a U.S. flag sweater, you know, like, you know, listening to country music at an Applebee's or whatever. You know what I mean?
Right.
But we do. We all want the same thing.
Yes.
We just need to be able to allow ourselves to have a difference of opinion at times, but only a difference of opinion that doesn't, that sees me as a human being still. You know, then we can actually have conversation.
Well, you're very wise. You're very funny. Before we go, I just want to try. It's so funny you mentioned your mom, because my mom is never in America. She's always in Singapore, and she's actually here tonight. She's out over there, Mom. Hey, come up, Mom. Hey, Mom. Yeah, come on and say hi. Come and say hi to Cristela. Yeah, come on and say hi to Cristela. My mom's very shy. She's very shy. Yeah. Come on out. Yeah. It's okay. We'll cut the camera. You want to say hi to my mom? Yeah, come on. Come on.
Oh my God!
Yeah, hey, Mom. Thanks for coming out. My mom, yeah,
Oh my God!
She's never here.
That's amazing!
She's never here. I will never miss the opportunity to exploit my mother for likes on the internet.
And that's what makes you American!
yeah. So, I just want to say, you talk about mom really touched me, and I just wanted to say she was here. She's never here, by the way. She's not here every show.
That's amazing.
She doesn't even live in this country, so
but look at this. This is what the American dream is.
I don't know why I'm saying
This is exactly what it is. That's amazing.
But anyway, you're great, Cristela. Thanks for being on the show. That's Cristela. upper class, you know, playing globally on Netflix. Cristela Alonzo, everybody.